Welcome back, everybody, to Quake Pro League Week 11. I am Homeless Lions, joined by the one and only British Biceps. The restraining order has been lifted, Dan. We're together once again.
I kind of wish they put it back, but no, it's good to it's good to be here. You look more degenerate by the week. I don't know what is going on with you right now.
I am letting down my parents aggressively. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you doing anyway?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready to stand and deliver. We got a hot serving of 7 today, actually. Wheat will be with us for the last 2 featured matches. Whole bunch of goodies, but as we usually do, Dan, you have to take a look at the recap. It was actually 2 weeks ago because last week was the APAC qualifier, and spoilers later. But getting into it, Strong Sage versus Xron. Quite the beatdown. Poor Xron, Dan.
I mean, he's kind of getting used to it by now, so I don't know how much of it is poor Xron, but I've really enjoyed watching Strong Stage this stage so far. He obviously has a huge challenge this week, but once again, he shows today, he brings out just new tacks, new strats, and has all the flair to go with it. So I'm really enjoying his playstyle, but again, yes, Xron was in a lot of trouble. We did see Toxic going up against Zeniku, puts in a really good performance, but unfortunately for Toxic, again, not able to bring out the win here. Zeniku going from strength to strength, sitting in the upper mid bracket in the table so far, but look really, really good.
Yeah, not bad at all. And I mean, credit to Tox. You got a map.
Yep.
Not too bad. Jumping into APAC versus Dramas. A little close one here, too. Dramas takes this one 2-1 over APAC. I think surprising, though. A couple people.
Yeah, Dramas has been a little bit inconsistent, but so has APAC. I mean, I was looking at the scoreboard before, and he's gone neutral on maps. 15-1, 15 loss. It just shows the way APAC is playing, but he was still Dramas. Getting better as the stage goes on. Sirius, on the other hand, taking this one, I think it was at 3-0, so he's been looking really good. Obviously, again, he's in the featured matches today, but has put in an amazing showing for his first stage in the QPR.
Yeah, not bad at all. Then we're jumping over to Cygib versus Chain, another close one. Cygib taking this one to 2-1. Chain in a bit of desperation mode here as we look at the overall brackets a little bit later in standings. It's do or die time, Dan, for Chain.
Yeah, really unfortunate. I think I saw a tweet from him recently saying he's not going to lose a single series from now on in, and he just did again, and he is sitting way down in that relegation zone. It's not where you would expect it to be given his performance at the finals, but this is just the way Chain has been playing recently online. It's just not been as good as anyone would expect, and specifically from him. Then we just missed one series, but now we had Rafa versus Kilson, which is obviously the big one, the showdown, and Rafa just looked formidable throughout that 140.
Absolutely unstoppable. The championship match, if you were. And yeah, it was the Rafa show. It was a fantastic display, and for the first time all season, I feel like we saw Kilson kind of broken. That map number 3, you just kind of saw him be like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, Rafa was just playing way too good. I think Kilson's been a little bit off. I mean, when you think back to that series against Sib where he was stressed, he lost map 1, could have lost a second. He's just not looked himself since then, but take nothing away, he still played phenomenal. But Rafa was on another level in that series so far, so everyone is now looking at Rafa as the one to beat. Kilson's obviously been top of the leaderboard for nearly 2 stages, but Rafa claiming that top spot back, so really impressive performance from him.
Absolutely. As we take a look at the overall summary, and then we could hop over to the global rankings. As mentioned, Rafa sitting atop the leaderboard there. And yeah, Xron, Chain, Sib, Cygib, all those men need to step it up because we are getting closer to the Quake World Finals.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but obviously in context, I think Chain has played virtually everyone in the top 10s now, so one would expect him to claw his way back up that leaderboard, but you would definitely not expect him to be sitting down there. Sib's done a good job to pull himself out of that relegation spot, but is very much on the cusp now. So those are the two we're really looking at, and obviously at the top of the leaderboard, Rafa taking his way in the lead quite significantly now, beating Kilson out, but he's also lost a series earlier on to Zeniku. So both him and VengeurR, I think, are the only two to lose one series alongside Kilson. So those 3 are really the ones that are really up at the top.
Absolutely. And gigantic spoilers, mute the stream if you don't want to know who won the APAC qualifier. I'll give you 3 seconds. It was Dan King. Pretty, yeah, I mean, I feel, yeah, I can't count, it's hard, American school system. I feel like that was kind of, I don't know, not, kind of predetermined. Kama had a great showing through that run. I don't even think Steege got the chance to play. He's another huge contender in that region. But shouts to Dan King, punches his ticket to the Quake World Championships to try and get into the Quake Pro League.
I mean, he was so close last time, played phenomenally well on land. So he, if anyone does deserve it from the region, amazing to see him back. Really looking forward to seeing him at the finals. I think, everything we saw from him online last time was yeah, it was great. So I do think he'll be making it this time, but he's done well to get this far.
Well, we got a couple more weeks before we get to see him play, but it will be quite the ride. Again, some of these players do or die. It's going to be really rough. One of them, Xron, as we mentioned earlier, and he gets the first match against VengeurR. That is a rough start. But looking at the overall schedule, Xron, VengeurR, Strong Sage, Rafa, Dramas Chain, Toxic Sygib, Avik Maxter, Nosfa Rezi, Sirius, Zeneku. That is a solid lineup.
Yeah, some big deciding matches in there. Looking at the bottom end of the matchups today, Sirius Zeneku, really looking forward to that one. Sirius is moving into a series of matches now that will define his season, but he's put himself in amazing stead so far, so that's going to be an incredible one. And also Strong Sage versus Rafa. I think many people might assume that's going to be a blowout. I'm not banking on that. I think that's going to be super interesting. And my last pick is going to be that Avik Maxter. So we got some incredible matches today, but they're the three I'm definitely looking forward to most.
Yeah, I think Strong Sage Rafa is going to be a fantastic display of old versus new. Strong Sage, I think the youngest player from the Americas NA region, going up against the GOAT of Quake. And what better way to display how far you've come than that match? So that's going to be a true test for Strong Sage. And again, he's already surprised us against some of the top players. So might be more of the same. But again, circling back, we're going to start it all with Xron versus VengeurR. And I can't help but feel like this might be a pain train for poor Xron.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't hold back, Dan.
I mean, as much as I enjoy his playstyle, he hasn't shown anything this season so far to suggest that he has it in him to take a map off VengeurR, who's been, again, going from strength to strength throughout the season. I thought he looked a little bit rocky at the beginning of the season, but as it goes on, as all good players, as all champions do, he's been putting in the work, he's been refining that play, and it's in the lead up to QuakeCon now. So I would expect VengeurR to come out swinging, and, Xron might get one or two maps close, but I think this will be a 3-0 VengeurR fairly comfortably. Didn't
even look at the pick bands yet. That is insane. Let's hop into those and see if you change your tune, Daniel. Let's take a look.
I haven't, no.
Okay, it starts off on Blood Covenant, into Corrupted Keep, finishing it off on Molten Falls. If you want to run me through the champ picks, please, Dan. Fantastic. So we have Anarchy versus Nyx on Blood Covenant, Strog versus Ranger on Corrupted Keep, and then Visor versus Athena on Molten Falls. I think those are pretty good setups, but again, I think the way VengeurR's been playing, and unfortunately the way Xron has been playing, it might be a little one-sided.
I'm really intrigued by the bans, particularly the Keel ban on Blood Covenant.
Very offensive to me.
I think it's exactly that. He's just opening up the pool a little bit, but in doing so, he has given up either Athena, Anarchy, or Nyx to VengeurR, which is a really risky tactic. Obviously, Anarchy can hold his own against a Nyx, but the best Nyx players in the world should be fairly comfortable in this particular map. Just controlling that mid ground with the Nyx capabilities is more than enough for a player like VengeurR to take control of that map. So, interesting tactic. We'll see if it pays off for you. My hunch says no. Corrupted Keep, the scale was banned. That's more of a strategic pick because obviously we know Xron can come up with these more creative setups, and he does like the scale bearer, which can cause some chaos on a map like Corrupted Keep, so that's fairly sensible. The Strog pick, perfectly reasonable, and the Ranger pick is a VengeurR speciality, particularly on that map. I really enjoy the way he sets the tempo with the Ranger. And then Molten Falls, Athena is an offensive pick on that map. Obviously, very good, the verticalities there. But Visor equally is a nice pick. The problem is, obviously, if you don't pay dividends with your piercing sight, then Athena can really run rings around you. So it's going to be a tough one for Xron, I think, on this one.
And to dive into specifics, how do you feel about the slash ban on Molten Falls? You think that was... something that we don't... I don't think we've seen VengeurR play a lot of Slash, but he was just trying to get rid of the speed, in your opinion?
I think it's just that, yeah. He knows that he doesn't want to leave it open for VengeurR, basically. So he feels more confident against Athena and against the Slash.
Sure. Well, there you have it. There's the pick bans. We're going to get into the game shortly and kick off week 11 with our first set between Xron and VengeurR. But as usual, the players need to be ready. We need to give them time. So now it's the Quake Pro League podcast. Dan, how do you feel? Quake World Championships around the corner. I get to be within 10 feet of you. We get to hit the bench press together. I almost said the gym press because I don't know what I'm talking about. It is going to be a long day. I'm very excited.
That's the real content I'm here for. Beacon Muscles podcast is back. It's been a while, my friend.
It's been a while.
I can't wait for QuakeCon. The one and only year we're getting. It's going to be phenomenal. I mean... You're there, which is fine, but
yeah, it's a detriment, but it's fine.
It's fine. No, it's going to be.
They've allowed me. I'm excited. I hope we get a weight set on stage so we can see you bench live while you're casting. I think the chat wants it.
I mean, if chat wants it, I mean, who can deny chat, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's all for them. I did hear the noise. We are hopping into map number 1, chat, so thank you for being patient, although you didn't have a choice in the first place. Let's have a great day of Quake, shall we? It's just going to be a great day.
Hold it together, Footy. It's game 1.
Yeah, holy shit. It's been 15 minutes. Chat. Let's go.
Wow.
All right, so Blood Covenant. Again, Anarchy versus Nyx. A little bit of a classico here as we will dive into map number 1 with the lights. Xron versus VengeurR. I don't know if predictions were set. Predictions were already set in the booth. It seems to be a clear 3-0 for VengeurR, but it gives the opportunity to Xron to surprise everybody. So we will see shortly here.
I mean, what you haven't made your predictions, man. You're always really good at this. You're touching it.
I would go VengeurR 3-0, but I also feel like Xron can maybe pull a map out, but VengeurR's just been too strong.
Okay, very, very diplomatic of you, 40.
Always, constantly. As we are live now, map number 1 for week 11 of the Quake Pro League. Xron and VengeurR starting it off. We are going to start off on Xron right now with that Anarchy, trying to get all the weaponry he needs. Stacking up that armor to the heavens, a little bit of machine gun, and immediately takes 2 rails, might be 3, and ooh, fancy footwork to get away from that last one. Uses the inject. Decent damage with the machine gun, all things considered, but VengeurR starting off early with some good rails.
Yeah, but this is one of the challenges of this particular matchup as the Anarchy. If you don't get,
Oh my god.
if you don't get the railgun spawn, then GG. And VengeurR's already made him pay. This time he will at least get upper spawn so he can make his way across. But there we go, lovely use of the Ghost Walk off the bat as well. Offensive Ghost Walk. Trying to just keep that pressure onto Xron. He's not connecting as much as he would want to. Anywhere near as much as he would want to, and in fact, actually just going to steal away that rail for a little bit of extra ammo. But yeah, this is one of the challenges. You semi-pray to the Quake God, you get the right spawn, and unfortunately for Xron, he didn't do it. VengeurR defending the rail, knowing that weapon is the one thing that Xron wants. He gets it fairly cleanly, so he can now build his way back into this match 40.
And really nice exit rail, and has the time to get back to the Mega as well. And VengeurR now actually trapped on the wrong side of the map, hits another great rail. Xron needs to get in and try and finish this in the Ghost Walk right in the nick of time. Now it's going to be a mad dash to the Mega, and it's going to be free because VengeurR knows he shouldn't contest that.
Did you just say right in the nicks of time?
You like that? That's what I get paid the big bucks for, Dan. 1-0, 130. What a rocket. As you are just blowing out people's eardrums. The gain on that one, Dan. Lord?
I turned it down.
Well, you're too strong. What can I say? Rails exchange from both players. The inject comes out from Xron as he's trying to tap dance on the Mega, claim it, but it could be the death of him as the machine gun coming out. Is it going to pepper him down? And it does. And look at that. Don't you hate it when you die and the item spawns on your camera? The worst feeling.
It is the worst feeling. At least he spawns by the heavy, though, 40, which was up. Doesn't have a rail, though, so we're back to where we were in the first minute of the game, where VengeurR's just going to stand on bridge and just completely shut down any opportunity for Xron to make his way across. And this is the problem when you leave something like a Nyx open. You give it to the caliber of VengeurR. He's just going to play nice and patient, and that positional play alone is the security to lock down the map.
Oh, no.
What is a punching bag at this moment in time, 40?
Yeah, and it's brutal. The rocket to take off the Mohawk into the rail, and now the vertical attack from VengeurR. Oh, slides by, has to pop the inject. Might be able to steal this heavy, but I think he's going to go down here. 56 HP. VengeurR doing great damage. And actually, a merciful God this time. Disengages and tries to make his way over to the Mega.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take the risk, but in doing so, with not being the cleanest, he has given Xron the rail. But he's worked his way around to steal across that Mega. He knows the timing of the heavy as well, so VengeurR is perfectly set up for the next 30 seconds of this map. Yes, Xron got the rail, which is definitely what he needs, but he has to spend a bit of time regrouping, pick up those lights. So VengeurR did hear the use of that inject as well, so he knows it's not up. So if he does connect with the rail, he could push on in, but instead backs off, might rocket jump up to make his way across the map, try and press his next Mega.
Xron's just trying to disappear off the map right now, moonwalking his way towards the lower armor shard. Gave up Mega. Heavy already in VengeurR's possession. Big stack, and Xron just playing the I want to stay alive game here. Tucking in by the LG. And there it is, VengeurR.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, 2 quick rails. Can't even get around the corner. Takes him down to his 3rd frag. Here's another one off the spawn. Good LG. Capitalizes off that. And it is all downhill from here, Dan, I think.
I mean, it's 4 minutes in, but yeah, it feels that way.
I'm just saying, Wenger looks like he's heating up. That's the last thing you want. He's stringing together rails. He's playing off the spawn well. There is time, but it just looks like everything Xron tries to do is just dictated by whether Wenger lets him or not.
This is the power of the Knicks with that double jump. You can just get across, use the walls to get across and control this high ground. It's just what Anarchy cannot do. Yes, Xron is actually connecting in these rail engagements slightly more than Wenger, but Wenger now has both items on lockdown. Another aggressive ghost walk just to get the speed boost to ensure he can lock that down. And you can already see the challenge of Xron at the moment. Doesn't really know what he wants to do. So he's just trying to go with these rail duels and hope he connects more. That is, at the moment, seemingly the game plan.
We saw him earlier line up a nice shot, just took the rail out at the wrong time. Found a nice rail there. Good one through the telly. But just like that, Wenger can drop back to one of the majors. Again, as you mentioned, great item control from Wenger. It doesn't really matter that Xron is hitting maybe a little bit more rail because at the end of the day, nice little wall jump play there too. At the end of the day, Wenger has all the items he needs.
Oh, you could get a frag here. Wenger's low. And this is it. This is it. Yeah. Xron is just trying to play around these rail duels at the moment. Wenger is allowing it because he's obviously picking up all of the items on the map. I don't think Xron's had a major item now for the last 4 rotations. And eventually, when he does miss out in one of these duels, that's when the pressure will begin to rise from Wenger. However, that previous engagement just after the last Mega has won in this next Mega. Because now Wenger didn't have the stack to feel confident to pressure it. So, beginning to slowly chip away at Wenger, but now Wenger is playing this slightly more defensive strategy. Xron has to, being the one that's 4-0 down, make some sort of move.
Oh my god. Make it stop. Run, Xron. He's coming for those cheeks, buddy. 62 HP as he does make his escape towards the pillars. Stacks back up to 107, but uses the inject. And again, the entire map is Wenger's. A nice rail wall jump combo, and this should be it with the shotgun, and there it is. Down goes Xron.
You can almost see in some circumstances, Xron just feels like he's given up and praying Wenger doesn't miss, just running around the map hoping someone like Wenger's going to miss a shot. It's not the strategy you want, and now 3 minutes to go. He's having to make more and more riskier plays. LG from below is not really going to do too much.
Xron just took a little bit of, just a skosh of tri-ball there in that position. Unfortunately, right. Wenger able to capitalize, get his 6th frag, a little bit more of splash damage. There's a nice drop onto Wenger. Can he get the frag? No. Wall jump into shotgun.
No.
And ghost walk for a little insurance.
Oh, this tri-ball, man. 72% tri-bolt. Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh,
here we go. Now he's heating up.
Warming up for the rest of the matches. Nice movement there from Wenger. Re-up on the rail. A little bit of shotgun blast and again, ghost walk ready just in case things go wrong. I think Wenger smells a shutout, and that's what he's going for right now as he gets the files. Wants that ghost walk up just in case. But this is a good drop by Xron here. Could be a frag, and oh dear lord. Buckshot, the top of the dome.
To the brain.
Auto tri-bolt again. Wenger does slide out of there before he takes another rail. That would have been Xron's first frag, and it's got to hurt a little bit to go an entire map, not get a frag, and know that you have 2 more against Wenger. So hopefully Xron can get something together near the end here in what we might call garbage time, because I think Wenger's got this one in the bag in terms of the victory. We'll get a little momentum going into map number 2.
Kill ban, am I right?
I'm so mad about it. I don't even want to talk about it. If he had Keel, it would be completely different right now. Nice rail. Wenger with one of his own. Willing to hang in the pocket, take that tackle to the face, 9-0. Mad dash over the heavy. Not going to fully commit. Does have the ghost walk if things went totally wrong. But a minute and a half until Wenger can punch this one in as an official dub.
Yeah, clinical. You know, a big part of the momentum really does come down to that first spawn in this matchup, but at the same time, there was many moments of just carelessness from Xron. Sometimes it doesn't feel like he's playing with sound. He's been caught off guard an awful lot.
Cannot confirm or deny.
1 minute warning. Watch.
Oh, don't do. Oh my god, I thought that was gonna be a direct. Shooting range for the last 30 seconds here on map number 1 as Venger easily takes this victory.
He's nearly got 3 times as much damage as Xron. 4,000 damage. Oh no, double. 4,000 damage to 2,000 damage. So yeah, 1,500. But even still, double the damage.
American school system. I tell you what, they rub off on everything.
You are rubbing off me already.
I can't wait to do it at QuakeCon. 12-0 is going to be the map score. Potentially maybe one more. Venger, yeah, this might be. Yeah, all right. 13-0.
Okay.
Clock it. That's it. Great start for Venger. Rough start for Xron.
Did Venger just yawn?
That would be the coldest pop-off I've ever seen in esports ever if he yawned after that. I'm not sure. You might have to check the tapes, but map number 1 officially in the books as Venger's, and it was quite the blowout. Hopefully map number 2 will be a little bit different. We're going to go into CK. Rail's not at play. I don't know. Given the way Xron was playing, it looks like it might just be a little bit more, and Venger might just pepper him with rockets at LG. So if you're a Xron fan, you better start praying now because it was brutal on map number 1.
It was brutal, and part of it you gave up that next to Venger, and this is what happens when you give one of the best players in the world, probably the best champion on this map. He just absolutely used it to perfection. The ghost walks, the wall jumps, all of it was done extremely clinically. I thought Venger actually started pretty slow in terms of at least his mechanical skill. It was a little bit off, but just the utility of the champion alone was enough to see him through that rocky period, and then you could see the momentum from Venger's side building. He is very much a momentum-based player. When Venger feels himself, you can see that confidence flow through his game as well. And as the minutes went by, you could see it build and Xron had absolutely no chance. And I think around 5 minutes in, I almost feel that he gave up a little bit because there was just more carelessness coming from his side. Write that game off, move on to game 2.
Yep, mental reset, get ready for Corrupted Keep. It'll be Strog for Xron, Ranger for Venger, as you mentioned already. You love the plays that could come with the Ranger, let alone in the hands of Venger, and I tend to agree. The Orb, so versatile. Damage, escape, misdirection, everything you want, and Venger is able to use it to the fullest of its ability. We will get into map number 2 shortly. So again, Xron on the cusp of yet another L, unfortunately. But maybe he can surprise us. It has to be a complete turnaround from map number 1. But crazier things have happened here on the Quake Pro League.
Indeed. It would be crazy, though, to take out Venger, but you never know, 40.
Just at least make it a little bit more competitive. That's all. Just give him a little scare, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, the spawn on this map does matter. Maybe not as much as Blood Covenant with the railgun, but usually you see the first fight around LG rockets, so it really depends who gets there and who wants to attack first. I feel like Venger isn't really afraid. He's got all the confidence after map number 1. As you said, you could see that in-game swagger start to show. I feel like it's going to flow into map number 2, and we might see an aggressive play off the spawn from Venger here.
He, for me, is probably the best player in terms of, as I said, setting the tempo with the Ranger on this map. He's definitely a specialist in it, so that's the one thing Xron has to try and manage. And as we know on this particular map, it very much comes down to the positional play and the consistency in damage. You want to have that stack preservation and make sure you can be managing your opponent's stack. Does Xron have that level of experience is the question I have to see. Starting though over on Venger. Nice and slow start for both of these players managing it. Venger with the hit scan. Xron doesn't have an LG yet, so similar to map 1, Venger's just going to go ahead and abuse that fact, forcing Xron off the map, and now he's lost out on both major items and frag 140.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. Venger opting to just play defense and make sure the LG does not get in Xron's hands rather than the aggressive play, and it works out fantastic. Xron just couldn't take that fight at all, and now it might be more of the same here. Get caught out by the rockets.
Well, I picked up the heavy, but you can already see similar game plan to map 1 from Venger's POV. He knows he's got the weaponry advantage, so he's just going to play around that fact. He's standing on this mid ground, preventing Xron from making any sort of entryway. to this room, and he's quite happy to allow Xron to have one of the major items if it comes to that. He wants to maintain his control over this weaponry.
Big rockets into
nice.
the orb.
Oh,
But Xron,
2
as he's
HP.
falling to the boneyard, the fadeaway from Xron puts his first frag of the set on the board. Only 11:30 in, not bad. Huge turnaround time, Dan. We'll see.
Genuinely don't know how he got that frag, but okay. He's also very early for this item.
But good rocket. Just needs a little more. Is he going to dive in on the mega?
He does.
He is going to win.
Madman.
He's got nothing to lose, Dan.
He's quite, that is true. Oh,
Huge
what?
rocket from. Well, Venger put a stop to that rather quickly.
Kind of looked like an NPC there, just surprised to see Wenger, and they got hit in the face with a rocket. It's a lovely play by Wenger in contact. Okay.
Ooh, okay. But very hurt. This should be an easy refrag right before the mega again. Heartbreaking, but well done from Wenger. He's going to give up the heavy. Doesn't want to take that spam damage. Trying to dive in there. Xron jumping around. Getting a lot of machine gun damage. Wenger does need to be careful. Out comes the peeker play around the corner. Dealt with nicely. Still, Wenger a little tender. Needs to be careful. The shotgun blasts chipping away at him. And now he's stuck in the boneyard. And Xron actually gets floated back. Wenger says, "Get off of me." Oh my God, make it stop.
Oh dear. Slight over-aggression from Xron's perspective, but at least he's having fun.
There's nothing wrong with tucking your tail between your legs after you get LG pushed
Yes.
back onto the ledge and saying, you know what, not my fight. But Xron hanging in there, pays the price. Big rockets from Wenger, a little bit more LG coming out. Does need to be careful now. Again, weak, but we've seen him turn these around before. And he has the dire orb as well. So much LG coming out of Wenger.
Yeah, nice little double back from Wenger right there. Xron is just sticking around. I mean, they've wasted enough time for the Mega to come up again. And actually, yeah, this time Wenger makes a little bit of a mistake there. Overconfidence and maybe a little bit of mistiming as well to drop into Xron's path. The score is only 5-3, so Wenger definitely needs to be cleaner with his play so far. But at the same time, Xron needs to just manage his aggression. We've seen him a number of times now jumping into these fights. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, but you also don't want to give Wenger an inch.
Comes out again, dealt with nicely. Wenger defending this choke point well, and Xron just taking that bead of lightning to the face right before the mega. And now enough time for Wenger to actually get in, potentially maybe dire orb onto this heavy, and he doesn't even need to. Clean frag from Wenger.
No, and if there was a turning point, that was obviously a big one there. Xron giving up an easy frag that he shouldn't have done over by the mega, and now full control going Wenger's way. He can now reset, as we saw in the first minute, and just manage it. Some very interesting long-range machine gun engagements going on for both these fights. Xron is just trying to create chaos, and at the moment it's kind of working.
Ooh. Just enough of a peak. Both players extremely weak. Next machine gun bullet would have did it, but Wenger comes out on top, 8-3, denies the mega. Silver lining, heavy does go to Xron. Can he make something happen? We haven't even hit the midpoint. A lot of action in this one. 8-3. Wenger really, really weak. Just gets by the corner. 16 HP. Xron looking to capitalize. A little bit of LG. Almost pushes him off the map. Finally gets the frag.
I mean, on the plus side, nobody's had control yet. They're just both playing free-for-all at the moment, which is entertaining to watch, if not lacking in strategy. 1 HP! No! Ooh, I thought he was gonna die.
That would have been just absolutely insane. 1 HP buckshot, Fred, from Wenger. It'll probably happen, but unfortunately not at that time. 8-5, still a close contest between these two, even though, as you mentioned, it's just kind of been back and forth sloppy. Nobody really has control. Nobody's dictating the pace. It's just kind of a street fight right now, Dan.
Yeah, Wenger's tried to put that stamp of authority onto the game, but as we saw in the opening moments, and opening minutes, should I say, Xron just didn't want to have anything to do with that. Came flying through doorways, moves that would genuinely be reckless, but they paid off at the time, and that's caused this now inconsistent stuttering game from Wenger's POV, sneaking around, but Xron does make that turn just in time to spot the opponent. Oh, I'd say I'm up for a good 5-6 seconds, but Wenger knows the timing, so does Xron. Both going to battle it out. Wenger has the orb, so if he wants to get away, he has that functionality, but decides to hold on to it instead.
Utilize it for another play. Still up 3. I would like to open this one a little wider. Decent rocket there. Venger through the telly setting up behind the statue rather early, and this could be a terrible position if Xron can capitalize and get some good damage going. But
he has the orbs. He's always got that get out of jail free card, if you will, and quite happy with it. And you can see now he's actually playing a lot more careful than he was just 2 minutes ago, respecting the scoreline, because this can spiral very quickly. He knows Xron's got that full control, and in doing so, he's won himself a heavy.
oh,
Nice.
there's the dire play. Xron very weak. Venger actually has some armor. Xron just sitting there with nothing and is stuck in such a terrible place. There's the drop buckshot. Almost gets rocketed through the grate. The rocket jump up. Venger wants to try and finish it, but Xron slides around. Wow.
Nice rocket.
And just plays like that where you think Venger is just fully in control and Xron hits a fantastic rocket. He does eat one right there as he's grabbing the Mega, but this is still really close.
It's definitely really close. See how low both of them are at all times. All it takes is a clean frag from a trap, and he's right back in this map. Unfortunately, Venger is preventing that from happening with very disciplined play, keeping Ron on the ropes.
Now and off the spawn, this will be another one as Xron just trying to get something going, but nothing really landing. Venger right on time for the heavy. He's going to have a nice big stack. Xron does get the Mega, but down 5, 220 left. A lot of work to be done, and with an LG like that, it might, it might happen, but he took so much damage from Venger. He needs to be careful about the refrag. No majors up 14 seconds. Needs to live off the lights and the health bubbles, and Venger wants to make sure that he pays the price. Does have dire orb if he wants to chase. Little machine gun around the corner, won't land. Through the telly he goes, trying to cut him off, and there it is.
Very early.
Can we get that soundbite in the game when you die and you're too early? Because that was perfect, Dan. I love it. There's the dire orb play around the corner. And Xron just caught slipping with that one. Nice play from Venger.
Somebody that's generally quite creative with their abilities. I feel the peaks have been fairly off this game so far, but that's also credit to Venger. He's never really presented opportunities to use them. Nevertheless, the aggression from Xron's worked a fair amount this map. You can see it coming flying through the doorway again, but at the end of the day, Venger has too much experience and firepower for that strategy to work in the long run. As close as it is, never really felt like there was an opportunity where you felt Xron was going to run away with the game. Venger always had that element of control and discipline to the match where he was controlling the aggression, but there were just moments of brilliance from Xron that made it work.
Honestly, there was just very, very good rockets that would be the deciding factor. Even after those engagements, he was so weak that Venger didn't really have to stress too much to jump back in and get the refrag. So, absolutely right. Spot on as always. 40 seconds and Xron riding the lightning on that one.
Done that a few times this match alone.
Definitely a little brutal here, as it's just let's get practice. Ooh. Well, guys, don't look at the explosions, and Xron actually gets away with that one, but Venger, again, in 2 maps, takes the set. Good God, okay.
Playing the long game for that rocket.
Yeah.
GG.
Indeed, 18-8, maybe one more here? They get a little spicy? Yep. Wanted just that one more. 19-8 is going to be the official score on map number 2. Venger takes the set 2-0 with one more on the way. Was a little more competitive for that one for Xron, so silver lining, but again, kind of what we thought, more of the Venger show.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it was more competitive because Xron was able to create chaos with some magic moments, but never felt like he had any sort of control in the match to the point where he would walk away with a victory there. It was obviously slightly competitive for the first 4 or 5 minutes, but there was that turning point that Venger got a fairly clean frag, both major items, and then was able to just rack the pressure up from there on out. Yes, Xron was able to keep some pressure onto Venger, but it was more managed pressure from Venger's POV. Any damage Xron was doing, Venger was doing at least an equal amount, so it wasn't particularly threatening. And Xron is having fun, but is also lacking any semblance of true strategy to take a map off someone like Venger.
Tell me how you really feel as we take a look at the breakdown from Corrupted Keep. the accuracies for the weaponry. A couple of those LG fights, Xron got the better of Venger, which is rare to see. So, again, silver lining here and there, but as you said, yeah, overall game plan and strategy seems to be lackluster, if not non-existent, on the side of Xron. Moving into map number 3, it's going to be Molten Falls. He's going to have Visor, Venger's going to have Athena, and I believe probably a little bit more of the pain train that we've seen on map number 1 and 2.
Yeah, we haven't seen Xron try and slow the map down at all, really. There was a few moments on Blood Covenant where he was trying to play that keep away game, but unsuccessfully. Playing a Visor, you have to do more of that. And the question is, can he do it successfully going up against an Athena that will be trying to chase you down, play around that verticality? So it's going to be a challenge, and we just spoke about in the intro, that use of the ability from Visor's perspective as well is going to be critical. He has to make sure he is able to capitalize and actually make use of that ability. If not, you don't really offer an awful lot. So we'll have to see. Once again, I'm still going to side on the 3-0. I haven't seen anything to suggest otherwise, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I hope he pops the vision and just plus forwards directly in Venger's direction, because that makes for the best entertainment here at Quake Pro League. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how Xron wants to approach this, but it is official. Venger takes another set, 2-0, looking to add on a flawless victory and add the third, but we will see. Xron may have some tricks up his sleeve. I don't know. It's always hard to tell, Dan. Probably not, though.
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic. Well done. How's chat doing today?
How
Right, there we go.
540.
Map number 3 underway. Quite a way to start the day.
2, 1.
Yeah,
Fight.
definitely. It's
Full of medicine for
this
Xron.
has been a set in the Quake Pro League that I have seen.
This definitely exists, and we are in the server right now.
Yep.
This is map number 3 between Venger and Xron. Nice rail from
Nice.
Xron there. There's the hook to gain the speed. A little bit wild on it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And I think he did what you said. He popped the vision and plus forward. So
Yeah, no fear. That's what I like to see. I feel like Xron's been training in North America for Quake.
second vision comes out. This time he does connect with the rail, but Venger is stacked to the teeth. There we go. This Xron is doing a much slower gameplay that we said he needed to do, so that's a good start. Actually pushing in aggressively onto this next Venger, but now decides to retreat at the very last second. Venger's just going to absolutely chase him down, though. I'm not entirely sure what the thought process there was from Xron. I quite like the push, but then he decided to not engage, and that ended up doing neither. So, got to be more decisive than that.
Second guessing, and it cost him his life. Great rail, here's the hook in, and it's done.
And now we have a huge split between the major items for you. So Venger has all the time in the world to make his way back across. Also got a hook just to make sure Xron's not going to try and stand his ground with this rail. Does hit a double, but it is not in time for that pickup. Venger will get away for now. He probably won't pick up a frag, particularly not after that rail, but the damage has been done. Good defensive play by Xron, but he's got nothing to work with now. Venger also has timing on the next light armor over by that Mega, so he's going to make his way across the as well.
Venger trying to open this up with another rail. Heard the light armor go, heard the jump pad again as well. 2 hooks. In case he wants to get a little crazy, might get an angle here, but no, instead opts to try and set up for this next heavy attack here.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, that rail and vision was beautiful from Xron.
Yeah, that was really nice, actually. He worked his way back into this game due to his rail. And we saw on map 1 in Blood Covenant, his rail did keep him in. No!
Oh no! You can see, I was on Venger's POV, but you can see Xron look down and be like, well, shit. Straight off the map, into another frag. Venger's popping off right now with the combos. Hot and heavy from the Italian. And there's just not much you can do. Very unfortunate for Xron.
Venger just looked across and was like, how do I teach these kids?
Oh, Xron wants to get in there, but he gets denied with the rail. Going up the jump pad, that's a freebie for Venger. Does do decent machine gun damage. After all, Athena is a light champion, but they're going to meet in the rail, and the LG is just too strong through the doorway.
Oh my gosh. Tron's tilted, I feel like now he's just, his finger is now officially stuck to the W key again.
Yeah, my strategy didn't work in the first 2 minutes time to plus forward. Good rail, this is an opportunity here. So much tri-bolt the hook, unfortunately. Not getting VengeurR out of there, but Xron's already gone, so it's not a big deal.
6-0, 3 minutes in on this particular map is not a scoreline we often see, particularly when you're playing a visor and don't have any type of ability to close the gap. VengeurR, as we said before, has timing on that light armor, so using it as bait to take that engagement, and he did what he needed to do. Taking away enough of the stack from Xron. Or he could push up here, but no, not after missing that rail. Maybe not.
So there you go. The plus forward works if your opponent can't hit the shot. So Xron's going to keep that in the back of his mind here, going down the stairs. Might try it again. What a rail.
Yep.
Using that vision well, as you mentioned, he has to get some sort of return off of that ability, especially being down 5. Good opening rail, but VengeurR able to stack back up and now making his way cautiously towards the Mega.
Yeah, good exit from Xron. He needed to get out of that room cleanly, and by doing so, you could see VengeurR picking up the timings, but Xron has the momentum here. He just needs to be careful when approaching this mid ground. VengeurR clearly knows where you are, Xron, and he can't afford to waste any stacks. So nicely played by VengeurR. The vision's going to come up soon, so I will expect him to ping that just to find out where his opponent is. He hasn't seen him for a good 30 seconds or so. He heard it. There you go.
Vision pop. VengeurR almost got a chance at a rail opportunity here, and he's just going to kind of dance around knowing that Xron sees where he is. That's a free rail for VengeurR right there. Here's the jump pad. He doesn't even really care about these items. Oh no! More lightning!
Do it!
What a play.
Why, Mom?
Just brutal.
I mean, it's just dumb. Like,
Ill-advised is what I would have gone with, but sure.
yeah, okay.
Oh man, 7-1 as we are over the halfway point of this one. Map number 3 between VengeurR and Xron. And it has been the VengeurR show. Xron pushing the limits of what you can do out of control and with limited resources, I guess is what Dan is trying to say.
It's just like there is not a world where that move works. Like,
Yeah, but if it does,
why?
it's going in the highlight reel.
is that worth it? That 1% chance you might pick up a frag?
As a gambling man, I love it. So I think it was
that's not even the
said-
point, right? Because even if you get a frag, you come out of that with 10 HP and your opponent gets the whole map. Like,
Doesn't matter. Big dubs in the middle of the game.
Oh, I'm gonna
That
quit this.
frag,
I'm
though, could
quitting
change
this cast
it could
right now.
It could change everything, Dan. You don't get it. But it was DeHang that famously said, "It's not stupid if it works."
I mean, the hang is stupid to saying though.
Shouts to DeHang.
Yeah.
As VengeurR gets another clean heavy here after taking a rail from Xron. 7-1. Xron's got to put a little bit more gas on this. Get going here as the pressure is on him. Lightning guns raging from both players. We've seen Xron take these fights before. A little bit of buckshot from around the corner. Oh, that's a clutch rail right before the mega pickup. And could that be the turnaround that he needs? 3 minutes, 5 frags. Jumps over a rail. Anything is possible.
Oh, that's a nice rail though. And now we're at that point again. We saw it in virtually every single map now, where Xron, if he wants to get back into this game, just has to run at VengeurR. And we've already seen that being unsuccessful at the best of times. So yes, he's got full control, but he's also got 2.5 minutes to close the gap on an Athena on a map like Molten, where that level of scoreline is pretty scary.
Just trying to dance all day. Almost gets that rail. 60 HP, but limited resources there for VengeurR to try and stack back up. And he kind of wants to fight for this, seeing if he can get a rail, maybe make a move on this. And Xron is just, he can't buy a rail right now. It's very unfortunate. Okay, there's one. VengeurR still
Damage is done.
back up. Yeah, not bad.
For whom?
You know, for Venger. I mean, he takes some
All right.
rails, stacks back up, comes
Oh,
back
yeah,
in. Oh,
no.
that's terrible for Xron. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
I was going to say, I thought you meant for Xron, but no,
No. Yeah, no, the pressure's on Xron. I've been watching Venger, though. But yeah, down 5, I mean, you do have to just run at him. He's been doing it all game, and now when you need to, he doesn't really do it. So
Yeah,
I'm
right.
confused, but that's fine.
Well, this game is it's pretty much over now, but commendable map 2 from Xron. You got to feel that. And I felt like when he came into this match, it didn't feel like, particularly after opening a map 1, he had the confidence he could win a map, and that's why we've seen some of the plays we have. And so that mental side is definitely something he has to just try and fix. I appreciate he might not be able to practice and to force as much as other players, but at the end of the day, you've got to try and play the game like you could win. Many of his decisions don't reflect that.
I agree completely. There are some factors at play here, but at the end of the day, he said, gotta put on your tri-pants, Dan. That's what we say in the Americas over here. I guess britches is what you might say.
What?
I don't know.
It's
7 to
the
3.
1800s.
It might be, I don't know. Oh,
At least you amuse yourself.
I do. It's the only way to survive. 20 seconds, 8 to 3. Venger with a clean sweep over Xron. And I will be looking for a job as a chimney
Yes,
sweep after
we're
this.
not allowed to cast against together. I can see why John denied us this opportunity.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
I could see my phone light up with the angry text messages from 04 right now. It's fine. Set number 1 is in the books. What a play to end it.
I'm so glad we're going to a break. Come on, Seb, throw it to break.
That was a hell of a way to put the stamp on it, though. Shouts to Venger taking it 3-0 over Xron with quite the final rocket. Pure display of championship excellence on there. Or maybe Xron just making poor decisions. A little bit of both. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B throughout the series, Dan.
I don't feel Wenger was particularly tested. There were definitely times in that set where I felt he was almost more frustrated the way in which Xron was playing than anything else. But it was controlled from Wenger. I thought map 1 in particular was really well played, but you could see map 2 and 3 was more just restraining and maintaining the chaos from Xron's perspective. Wenger wasn't very much tested. You know, movements like that where any good player's just going to wipe the floor with you. So it is what it is from Wenger's POV. He did the job. He got the 3-0. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, fantastic display. And again, look at that, putting the stamp on it with that last frag as we take a look at the breakdown from Molten Falls. But yeah, it was a story of Wenger not really being tested. Again, the coldest pop-off in the history of Quake Pro League, the yawn. That's going in the top 10 plays. What a way to start the day. Unfortunate for Xron. And again, the leaderboards, it's brutal. We're getting up to the final weeks here where it's the final push to try and get the best seeding you can. And I think for Xron, he's going to be battling his way out of the trenches from the get-go all the way to the Quake World Championships. But what a way to end set number 1. I'll get it together over here. Dan will come back. And we have quite the matchup. Strong Sage versus Rafa, the battle for North America, young versus old. Don't miss it. We'll take a quick break and be right back.